Hello and welcome everyone to the Marr Show. Video game sequels. They happen a lot. Yes, we will. They happen every single year. We always get like 20 plus sequels to games, franchises and all that. We always get sequels to so many games, which is not a bad thing. It's always fun to see some of our favorite franchises to continue having brand new games, whether to have new gameplay elements and ideas to try out with, or maybe continue on the story and expand the universe within that game. And sometimes we always would love to see sequels to all of our favorite games, but in reality not every game needs a sequel. Whether it be developers just want to have 3 games and that's it, no 4th installment whatsoever, or developers just don't know what to do next with a certain game franchise and it's just yearning to take a break until the time comes to continue it. And sometimes it just never happens, either to the company being bankrupt or just lack of interest for it. But there's nothing wrong with us wanting to dream a sequel for a game. Whether they be unrealistic or possibly realistic, it's always fun to discuss what could get a sequel and how people can make a sequel, and even introduce new gameplay mechanics and just imagine what it could be like if our favorite games, whether they be mainstream or not, to get a sequel. It'll be fun. And today I thought it'd be really fun if I talk about the 6, hold on a sec. There we go. The 6 games that I think deserves a sequel. These aren't games that I'm like wanting a sequel immediately, but if they somehow get a follow-up, I would be pretty happy about it. Now most of these games I'm gonna mention are not mainstream games. Heck, some of them I know I'm gonna get a lot of odd yucks because no one will probably want a second game or a sequel to these games I'm gonna mention. But I think it'd be pretty fun to see these ideas get a brand new installment, either to improve upon the original or just because I just want a sequel to these games. I mean, they may not sell well, but it'll make me happy. I'll buy the game 300 times if I have to! And in the comment section below, please share your thoughts on which games you think deserves a sequel. It's always fun to talk with people on what could get a sequel and how it could happen and all that, whether they be unrealistic or not. With that in mind, let's talk about the 6 games that I personally would like to see a follow-up to. And the first game I want to talk about is actually a part 3. Oh, hold on. There we go. A part 3 to a game franchise that already has 3 games, one of them being a spin-off and then a sequel, that is one of my personal favorite games of all time, Epic Mickey. It's a shame I don't talk about Epic Mickey that much on this channel. I do plan on talking about Epic Mickey, believe me I am, I just want to get in the right mindset to, but unfortunately I haven't really talked about Epic Mickey that much. I may have mentioned it a couple of times here on the show, but not that much, which is a shame because I absolutely love Epic Mickey. And yes, there was a sequel and a spin-off game on the 3DS that came out a few years later. But sadly, due to the poor sales of Epic Mickey 2, Junction Point was shut down and thus any plans for Epic Mickey 3 is now gone. There was plans to make a 3rd installment of Epic Mickey. Heck, there was even plans to make a racing game of Epic Mickey as well. And while the idea of Epic Mickey 3 may seem impossible since Junction Point is now closed, and with the poor sale figures with Epic Mickey 2, which is all considering this game was released on multiple consoles, but whatever, I think there could be potential for a 3rd Epic Mickey game. Actually, scratch it, a lot of potential for a 3rd Epic Mickey game. Disney has a huge history of having so many ideas that were experimental, scrapped, abandoned, ideas that were used but were later reused in a different way, theme park attractions that were once operational but are now closed, forgotten characters. There's so much stuff that can still be used for a 3rd Epic Mickey game, or heck, even 3 more Epic Mickey games if possible. A couple months ago, me and my brother Blackcross talked about some of our favorite YouTube channels, and one of the channels I mentioned was Defunctland. I love Defunctland, and I also love some of the other Disneyland, Disney World based YouTube channels such as Offhand Disney, Rob Plays, Yesterworld, a lot of great channels that talk about the history of Walt Disney World and Disneyland and all the other theme parks and such. And it just opened my mind to so much potential ideas for an Epic Mickey game. I mean, heck, wouldn't it be amazing to see Dreamfinder, Figment, the cast of America Sings as characters on Main Street? Or Mean Street, not Main Street. It was just Mean Street. Don't get them mixed up. And this is the part that I thought will be epic. Just hear me out of this. The creature from extraterrestrial alien encounter as a boss in Epic Mickey Flea. So yeah, there's plenty of ideas to go around for Epic Mickey Flea. And while I doubt we'll ever get that chance, if somehow that happens, that will really make me happy. Especially if they decide to use like Dreamfinder and the cast from America Sings as characters. And again, the creature from Alien Encounter as a boss. That would be freaking awesome. That really would be. This other one is one of the more realistic ones on my list. Mario Golf on the Nintendo Switch. I know some people will be like, Why? No one talks about Mario Golf or anything like that. Which is true, not a whole lot of people do. But golf games are fun. It's a little guilty pleasure of mine. I do enjoy playing some golf games. Heck, me and my mom's husband Wes have a tradition of where we play Tiger Woods Golf 09 time to time on the PlayStation 2. And it's actually really fun to challenge ourselves to get the best pars. Hearing so many mean comments from the announcers, I'm being serious, the announcers in Tiger Woods Golf are downright cruel and impatient sometimes. And Mario Golf games are fun as well. Sure, there was Mario Golf on the 3DS that came out 4 years ago, but for home console release, we haven't seen that since Toadstool Tour for the GameCube. I just think it'll be fun to have a Mario Golf game at the Switch. With the recent success and reception of Mario Tennis Aces, I think there's a lot of new ideas from that I think can potentially work for a Mario Golf game, like a story mode campaign, maybe use some interesting shots that can help increase the further distance of your golf ball or something. I think there's some potential for a Mario Golf game for the Switch. Not to mention, with the HD rumble of the Joy-Cons just using motion controls as an option, I think it'll be really fun. I'm all up for a Mario Golf game on the Switch, but that's just me. I know I'm probably part of a minority asking for a new Mario Golf game, but then I want golf. I like Mario Golf. Actual golf, I suck at, but golf in video games, I'm good at. One game that I reviewed here on the show not too long ago was Looney Tunes Space Race, and this is a game I really love. Looney Tunes Space Race is one of my favorite Looney Tunes games. Granted, yes, it is short on content, and the racetracks may not be as imaginative. There's not like a huge variety of them. Heck, even the cast of characters isn't that big. So I posed the question, why not just make a second Space Race game? With today's powerful consoles and PCs, I think the idea for a second Looney Tunes Space Race would be downright possible. Think of the more imaginative and much more wackier space planets and worlds that you can explore, expanding the roster of characters, and having much more tracks and varieties to make you really feel like there's a lot more content in, and maybe some new items to have in the racetrack. The gameplay is fine. I hope they really will keep the control scheme, even though the drifting, they could improve upon that. And I just think if they just increase the amount of content, make brand new tracks and so on, just increase the roster and everything, an idea of a Space Race 2 is possible. Sadly, I don't think we'll ever get a Looney Tunes Space Race game. Warner Bros. Doesn't really push out that much Looney Tunes games for home consoles. The last one that I remember seeing was a Looney Tunes basketball game on the Vita. But there are still people that do remember Space Race. Heck, when me and my brother went to talk to Bill Farmer at Fanboy Expo, one of the first projects that he mentioned when he did his Falcon Lacon voice was the Looney Tunes Space Race. So it shows that the game did a really good job of at least impacting the player's mind. It was a good game, it was just short on content, and I think if they would have made a second one to improve the visuals, to increase the track variety, add new characters and so on, it would be perfect to have a Looney Tunes Space Race game that would be even better than the first one. Another game that I reviewed years ago here on the show was Pokemon Snap. I love Pokemon Snap, and I would love to see a second game. There's not really a whole lot they can really do, like sure there may be a few tweaks with the little Pokemon cart that you ride in, but overall it's just mostly a visual upgrade. With the fact we have over 700 Pokemon, I'm still in shock by it. Over 700 Pokemon go around in your little cart taking pictures of wild Pokemon in beautiful, gorgeous environments. Maybe expand on different types of terrains and locations around, having so much more variety of Pokemon. I mean, I'm not expecting all 700, that'll be the same, but maybe at least maybe 300 or something, and have like a little time clock mechanic where the time and date as you go into a certain location, you get different Pokemon. Holy crap, that would actually be really good there. I'm happy I think of that. However, as I talk about Pokemon Snap 2, or at least the ideal of it, I also get kind of ticked off a bit. You see, I love the Wii U. It's a great system. I really am fond of it. I have a lot of great memories with it, even though it does suffer from some poor decisions made by Nintendo at the time. However, one of the biggest messes, and this is just for me, is that there was no Pokemon Snap game for the Wii U. Because it just irks, because this was the perfect candidate for a Pokemon Snap game for a Nintendo system. I mean, think about it. Using the gyroscope on the gamepad to take pictures around, it would be an interesting mechanic and be one of the few games that really utilizes the Wii U gamepad in a unique way. It would have been amazing to see a Pokemon Snap game on the Wii U. There were rumors for a little while, but nothing really came about it. So yeah, I would love to see a Pokemon Snap game on the Switch, but seriously, you had potential here! Speaking of Wii U, ow, I really hurt my arm doing that. Oh. Anyway, mentioning Wii U games, there's another game on it that I would love to see a follow-up to, and that's Lego City Undercover. I really enjoy Lego City Undercover. It's one of my favorite, if not my personal favorite Lego game ever. I love the writing and the characters. It was extremely funny with all the references to different cop shows and movies. I love the world of Lego City and exploring around it, doing different quests. It's one of the few games that I actually 100% completed in 80 hours. It took me a long while, but I did 100% complete it, and it was a fun treat. I loved exploring around Lego City and solving crimes with the gamepad, and it was so much fun. There's not a lot of major gameplay innovations I'm expecting for a Lego City Undercover game, but hey, maybe instead of focusing on Chase McCain Police Station, because it's based on the Lego City property and there are multiple Lego sets focusing on just like Fire Brigade, park rangers and all that. There's so many different ideas that they can use for a potential Lego City game, not just based on following Chase McCain around. It'll be really cool to see them making jokes or adventures using the Fire Brigade or like the Art Museum and all that. I think there's a lot of potential to make the Lego City a fun little franchise to go around for the Lego games. Because, hey, Lego City is a really popular brand with Lego, and I think that can apply to video games as well. So I would love to see another Lego City game, or heck, even if they do make a sequel for Chase McCain, it'll be really fun to see. I'm hoping for a Lego City Undercover, or at least a Lego City game, another one at least. It'll be really cool. And then for this last one, I know I'm gonna get a lot of odd yucks from, but this is just me, but personally, I would love to see a sequel to Hyperdimension Neptuna producing Perfection. Hear me out. At the time of recording this video, I've only played 5 Neptuna games, the 4 main installments, and then Producing Perfection. And while Producing Perfection isn't like on top of my list of my favorite games, it's not my least favorite. The least favorite of mine being the first one on the PlayStation Fleet. Producing Perfection wasn't exactly a masterpiece, but there was some good ideas in place. I love the slice of life storyline as you're a producer for the CPUs and following them around in their usual routines and seeing them in their usual shenanigans. I also love the idea of making sure your CPU helping the stats up, not just with vocals, rhythm and so on, but also helping their confidence boost, making sure the stress meter doesn't go all the way off. And while the console mode was horrible, I'm just gonna be flat out and say it wasn't that great, I did like the idea of using stage effects to accumulate more points. And I still think in my mind there is potential for a great Neptuna rhythm-based game, but if they are gonna make a second one to Producing Perfection, which probably won't happen, but I will personally love, there are a lot of changes that I think they could do to really fix it up. The most obvious changes being the gameplay. Scrap the whole little console mode and make it a traditional rhythm-based game where you're pressing buttons to a specific time of the beat. You can still keep the stage effects as like little helpers, like when you get one fold up, you can use it to help not miss so many buttons, or can help you in a tricky button combination in a way. I think that would be really cool to see. Plus, this is just something that I thought of literally a few days ago that kind of inspired me to make this video here, is that yet the stress meter and confidence meter affect the difficulty of the console mode. For example, if your CPU has very high confidence, when you enter in the next console mode, the rhythm difficulty for that will be pretty easy. Or when your CPU has a high stress meter, it affects the difficulty, making it very difficult to press the right button combinations for that console mode. I know for some people that could affect the difficulty spikes a little bit, which makes sense, but I think using the stress meter and confidence boost to affect the difficulty of the next console mode would be a really fun ideal. You can keep the slice of life aspect of the game, but I think it would be fun to introduce some Mob 48 members to really make it more like they were more presentable in the game. Heck, I completely forgot about the group as I was playing the game at times. Have some fun, interesting personalities. There's so many great music, rhythm-based games to base personalities off of. Wouldn't it be amazing and hilarious to see a Guitar Hero character based off of Guitar Hero? That would be pretty cool, I think. And then maybe you can do like little dance-off competitions, kind of like how in Guitar Hero, where you can face off other guitarists and even the devil himself in like a battle royale for guitars. Here you could do something like that, but with the CPUs dancing to different songs and so on. And speaking of songs, one of the things that I think that should really be needed for, if they are gonna do a Producing Perfection sequel, put in more songs. Please just do that. I mean, I know you had the 4, which were good, but it got repetitive hearing the same 4 songs over and over. You have so many songs that you use for your beginning or opening credits in your games that can be great potential use for the console mode in this new game. And then this last one note, and this is just for me, but put 5PP in the game. I love 5PP. She's amazing, and I think it'll be a missed opportunity not to have her at least in the game, maybe as a little advice giver that could help, or even as like a playable character or something. Either way, yeah, I would actually be all up for a Producing Perfection sequel. I know the game didn't really do that great in terms of reception. It wasn't really that well, and I know a lot of people do not like Producing Perfection at all, which is fine. I completely understand. But I think if they did it right and kind of follow my notes a bit, I think a sequel to Producing Perfection will be worthwhile. I really think there's potential for a great Neptuna rhythm-based game if they do it right. And those are the 6 games that I would love to see a sequel for. I know some people, there are much more better sequel games that they would love to see, but these are the 6 games that I would personally love and be up for if somehow they ever pop up. As much as I would like to say a lot of them are unrealistic, which they are, I still think that these sequels could possibly happen, whether it be just a one-off day and Ideal Factory, they're like, yeah, let's just go and make a Producing Perfection 2, or Disney decide to have a change of heart and bring the people back from Junction Point to make an Epic Mickey Fleet. There's always that possibility. Like, I remember this one quote, I don't know the guy's name, but in one of the Disney D20 Fleet conferences when he was talking about plans for Epcot, one quote that he said was, if we can dream it, we can do it. And I believe it. If we dream of these game sequels, they can potentially happen. Maybe as fan projects, or maybe be part of development in the actual companies themselves. It's possible, so it's always worth dreaming for that game sequel to pop up, whether they be highly improbable or not. And that's all the time we have for today, guys. So in the comment section below, please let me know which game sequels you would love to see, whether they be highly improbable or not. This was a really fun video. This was actually really fun talking about these game sequels and talk about new gameplay ideas that they can do for these potential sequels, whether they will happen or not. It is a really fun video. I really did enjoy it. So let me know which game sequels you guys are excited for. Thank you guys for watching this. God bless you, and I will see you guys on the next Del Marr Show episode. Bye bye!